We have learned regarding what is the meaning of the hypothesis. And we have seen through some examples that how we can link the situation to the hypothesis, because till now we are talking about hypothesis either in the English form, which just means some of the idea behind something, you know. And now with the help of situations we have come to know what actually hypothesis means and how we can write it down. A hypothesis in two types, means the null hypothesis and the alternative one. So this definition you have to learn. As we have discussed, you must know what the null hypothesis is, how to present it, and what are the symbols that we have used. If we discuss again, then whenever we are working with the null hypothesis, it has to go for the equality, either greater than equal to, less than equal to, or equal to. It depends upon author to author. Some authors are saying just equality should be there. Some are saying no, greater than equal to and less than equal to can also be there. But yes, whatever the opposite sign are, if I am writing out equal to in the null hypothesis, then in the alternative one it is not equal to. If I am writing out greater than equal to, then it should be less than. If it is less than equal to, it should be greater than in the alternative hypothesis. So that is the opposite one just of the symbol that we are taking in the null hypothesis. So we have worked with some of the examples, and then we have learned for the procedure. What the procedure is, whenever we have to solve some of the practical problem or in the examination, the first step is to create the null hypothesis and write it down the alternative one. Because when we have written the null hypothesis, at the same time you come to know what is your alternative hypothesis. Then depending upon whatever the question is saying, you have to write down the level of significance, because based upon this we are going to decide whether we are going to reject the hypothesis or the hypothesis we have failed to reject. Correct? So that is the level of significance. For the level of significance, if nothing is mentioned, then you have to take always 5%. Means we are assuming that we are 95% sure of the things which are going on. Correct? After that, we have to choose a test statistic. Still, we have not started with the test. When we will learn the what are the different ways of test statistic, then we will come to know that depending upon the conditions, we can have the Z test, T test, chi-square test, F test. There are lots of tests in our own course. Other than that, if we are doing practically our own work and we are looking for the results for an hypothesis, then we can see that which test we can apply depending upon what the conditions we have. Then after, when we have calculated the result, we have to compute the values. We have to calculate some value based upon which we are going to make the decision. What decisions are that we are accepting our work of the hypothesis or we are going to reject it. Correct? And if we go through the first formula that we have learned, so this is the first formula, that is equal to x square minus mu divided by sigma by the root n. For proportions we are not going to study now, it's not in our course, but yes, these are the important and the common formulas that we have to use regarding the z test. Then we have learned some of the definitions for the critical region, level of significance, one tail and two tail test. Something we have already learned and something we will learn through the examples. I think clarity will be there when we will start with the example. Then you will come to know we are talking about which test, two tail, one tail, whatever the thing. And then we have talked about that you must have to learn regarding the level of significance and the standard value of Z. What standard value of Z? At one tail test and two tail test. And why we are learning, again it is for the decision that we will find out that either we have to accept the hypothesis or to reject it. And this is the criteria. If mod Z is less than the standard value, we are going to accept hypothesis, or we can say fail to reject H naught. Otherwise we will accept H1. Correct? Okay, so today we have to start with the types of errors. What types of errors are there? It is just a mistake. Error means a mistake. Correct? Obviously, when we are doing some mistake, we are saying these are the errors that happened. So when we are talking about the errors, type 1 error is the mistake of rejecting the null hypothesis which is actually true. Sometimes it's possible now that we have done some work and we, in order to make some conclusion, we had said no, the null hypothesis what we have assumed is not correct, but it is just because of some calculation mistake might be. So what we have done an error. An error had been happened due to calculation. We have rejected a thing which is actually true. So this type of mistake is known as a type 1 error, and it is represented by alpha, and alpha is a symbol that we have used for the level of significance. Correct. And what alpha is, here we are saying what is the probability of happening of type 1 error. Means this is an error that we are rejecting the null hypothesis when something due to some calculation mistake or something which actually was correct. Correct. So we have done an error, and what is the chance of that error, what is the probability of that error, that is the level of significance. The chance or the probability of happening type 1 error in making any decision is the alpha. Now when we are saying alpha is 0.05, what it means, there is a 5% chance of having a mistake. Correct. Are you getting this? Alpha, we are saying we have to learn for 5%, 2% and 10%, because these are the common numbers that we are using. Whenever we are saying level of significance is 5%, when nothing is mentioned, it means we can take that 95% of the time we are true. Correct. But there is a 5% chance of having an error. So this is what we are saying, what is level of significance. Similarly, type 2 error. Type 2 error means we have accepted something when it was actually false. It is just the opposite of the another thing. Here what we are saying, we have accepted null hypothesis. Here we have written fail to reject. Fail to reject means we have accepted null hypothesis when it is actually false. Again, might be due some calculation error. So what is the symbol? Here we are going to use beta. Beta is used to represent the probability of having type 2 error, but actually it doesn't come to the picture whenever we are doing the work. We are looking for only type 1 error probability, and for that we are using the symbol alpha, and for alpha we are calculating the standard values. And for standard values, we are looking for the tables that are being given at the appendix of each and every stats book. Or nowadays actually we are not going to the books, so what we have to do, if I'm looking for the standard value of some parameter, the z test, t test, which test I want to calculate, for just for that I will browse Google. I will write down the value of t at this n and level of significance. Then obviously a table will be opened, or directly some of the browser are allowing us to find out the value of z and t at a given value of n and alpha. So nowadays it's very easy that just by checking it on Google, some of the websites are giving us the opportunity even to solve the question over there. Means it's not so that you have to write on the whole things on a hand and you have to work upon it. Whatever test from now onwards we are going to learn, either z test, t test, chi-square, or nova. I think nova is not in your course today, whatever the things are. So for each and everyone you can browse Google, and there are various sites that are giving the user an opportunity to enter the data and calculate the t value, the z value, and hence to make out a decision. Also they are helping us in doing all this stuff, so you can practice from there also. But yes, knowing the things are better, because we do not know, we can't rely upon those softwares that has been implemented here, so we can't rely upon that. So whenever you are doing your own work, be sure to do by your hand the calculation, but yes, for the standard values you can refer over there. So here we have a table. What the table is, it's giving us how we can decide the type 1 and type 2 error, how it signifies. So here we are saying true state of nature is given, null hypothesis is true and null hypothesis is false. These are the two possibilities, that null hypothesis is actually true and null hypothesis is actually false. Now what the decision we have made, the null hypothesis is true and we decided to reject it. So what we have done, we have done a type 1 error. When null hypothesis is true and we have accepted it, failed to reject means accepted it. So something is true and we are making the correct decision. So obviously nothing is to be done, it's a correct one. So whatever is coming in green is a green symbol, that the things are perfectly fine. Similarly, if we talk about our null hypothesis is false and we have rejected it, so obviously we have nothing done wrong, it was false and we have rejected it, so obviously it is a correct decision. But if it has to be false and we have accepted it, failed to reject means we have accepted it, So obviously you have done a mistake and this error will fall into the category of type 2 error. Correct? So it is represented by beta. So in our course, you have to learn this type 1 error and type 2 error. In the numericals, when we will go, nothing we will mention regarding all these things. So this is all about the theory that you have to learn. Type 1 error, type 2 error, level of significance, um, two-tailed test, one-tailed test, critical region. These all are the points where they can be asked from you to write down and describe. Correct? So this is the first theory that we have completed. And then after we have the next one for the hypothesis testing. 9th June. And today we are going to start with the 10th June. So let me start on our timings in this. हिमांशु बंद करिए अपना स्पीकर दीजिए स्पीकर ऑफ करिए थैंक यू so it's not correct okay I think here something is missing or because here we have if this says that 9th June that we have already opened this is for the 9th June ठीक है so we have completed the last PPT of the 8th June so today is the 9th June and what we have to go for today let's start we will go for the numericals tomorrow obviously because much not time is not here so let us start with what we are going to do in the first part means we have done with the basics after the basics we want that whatever the knowledge we have gained we have to apply it correct whatever the knowledge we are getting we have to look for that how it all combines to give a procedure so we have the requirements for testing about the population mean and we are going to start with actually if I talk about this is a z test for single mean in our course we have z test for one mean and z test for two means so let's see when we can apply what are the requirements the first thing is sample is a simple random sample whenever we are talking about estimation so obviously we are looking for the random sample here the value of population standard deviation is known it is assumed this is the requirement but it is assumed sometimes if it is not given then also we can go for the sample standard deviation and the most obvious condition is either we are saying either or both of the condition is satisfied what the condition is the population is normally distributed or n greater than 30 so this is the third condition either we have the population which is normally distributed if it is not normally distributed then the sample size should be greater than 30 so if it is both of them are satisfied that is fine if not then at least one of them should happen so z test will be applied only when the sample size is greater than 30 or we know that the population is normally distributed. This formula already we have seen which is taken in the hypothesis testing because this is our first formula so we have written over there this is the test statistic for claim for testing a claim of population about mean and we are assuming that sigma is known so when sigma is known z value can be calculated as x bar minus mu divided by sigma by under root n so we have some examples, but we are not going to do now. Tomorrow we will start with the examples. So let me stop here because theory part is done. Now we have to go for the numericals and obviously we need some time. You can see then after we have just the examples. So this is a small formula with the process. Then after we have z test for the difference of mean as we will do for the one mean. In the same way we will do for the
Ma'am, I
two
have to
mean.
ask you a question, ma'am. Ma'am, this is ma'am important for ma'am that for Antom. If we have,
Obviously,
oh, because ma'am, questions come from this more, this hypothesis, and then next unit and previous unit.
means you are saying regarding test.
Ma'am, no, yes, ma'am. That Antom, ma'am, in Antom.
I'm asking a question that you are asking me regarding the theory part or the numerical part.
Ma'am, ma'am, numerical part, ma'am.